This happened 5 years ago, but I'm constantly reminded of it as soon as those garish, tasteless Christmas decorations start popping up everywhere. Bile green, blood red abominations, coupled with monstrous depictions of horrid elves and grotesquely obese ritualistic idols. I can't be the only one. I'm sure some of you feel it as well. That creeping sensation of veiled horror, perpetually harrowing in the periphery. The spirit of unholy Christmas. I was in college back then. First semester. I was sharing a dorm room with the weirdest, most awkward girl I've ever had the hesitant pleasure of knowing. Black Lizzy. She wanted us to call her Black Lizzy. Not Elizabeth, not Liz, not Lizzie. Black Lizzy. She was the kind of angsty, edgy teenage girl you're secretly convinced is just a myth. An exaggerated caricature. There's just no way they can exist, you know, in real life. But she did. She wasn't all bad, don't get me wrong. She was easygoing, fun when you got her alone, and always kept her side of the room impeccably clean and tidy. But she was just into so many bizarre and obscure things. She'd have elaborate dice and tarot cards, and pendulums, and massive volumes of esoteric books. Some, I guess, were role-playing manuals and such, but there was also shadier, occult literature like Anton LaVey, Golden Dawn, and Aleister Crowley, and stuff like that. She was also obsessed with the dark web. Could not stop talking about the shit you could find on there. So when Christmas break came around, I was more than ready for a few weeks without the incoherent, conspiratory ramblings of Black Lizzy. No more talk of red rooms or esoteric doomsday cults. No more disgusting strands of impossibly long, raven black hair in my shower drain. No more tattoos of occult symbols or edgy social commentary. But still, I felt sorry for her. Apparently she didn't get along with her family. Big fucking surprise. And had no one to spend Christmas with. In a weak moment, I always asked her if she wanted to spend it with us. But I quickly came to my senses once I realized how that train wreck would inevitably unfold. Spending Christmas alone used to be one of my greatest fears. Now, I welcome it. I got up early that morning. My dad was picking me up, and it was a long drive home, so I promised I'd be ready no later than 8 a.m. Lizzie was sound asleep. I'd heard her sneaking in late, probably shit-faced as usual, and I had no desire to wake her up. I tippy-toed gently past her bed, but let out a painful shriek as something sharp burrowed into my left foot. "Ah, fucking Lizzie!" I murmured as I grabbed the dice. It was one of those pyramid-shaped ones, four-sided or whatever. I tossed it onto her bed furiously. Fucking worse than Legos. I brushed my teeth, grabbed my stuff, and was about to stealth out of there when I noticed it. It was placed neatly on our kitchen counter. A Christmas present, beautifully wrapped in black and red, with a sparkling silvery ribbon. I couldn't help myself. Had to sneak a peek.
To Kendra, Heart Elizabeth.
I couldn't believe it. We'd never discussed exchanging presents, and I felt really bad as I realized how much effort she'd put into wrapping it. I grabbed it with both hands and gently lifted it. It had some weight to it given its size, but it was also strangely compact, like whatever was in it was really wedged in tight. I clumsily dropped it to the floor as my phone started buzzing. "Fuck! Shit! Hell! Fuck!" I stated eloquently as I fished it out of my pocket. It was my dad. He was waiting outside. "Sorry, Lizzie," I whispered. "I'll get you something after the break, I promise." Spending Christmas with your family changes over the years, you know? It's like it loses all meaning after a while. slowly becoming just another awkward ritual that no one really enjoys. Small talk, pleasantries, bad jokes, too much alcohol, repressed feelings, overcooked dinner, overly pragmatic presents, an abundance of passive aggressiveness. After a few days, you want to spend the rest of it alone, or with friends, or with anyone but your blood. For me, it took roughly 2 hours. That's all I could take. Mom and Dad had already got into 3 arguments. My little brother cried non-stop, asking if they were getting divorced, and my uncle was absolutely hammered before lunch. When dinner was served, I was all familyed out, desperately in need of a break. It was around that time Lizzie started tagging me in her Facebook posts. Within an hour, she tagged me 17 times. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, and eventually I had to excuse myself in order to figure out what the hell was going on. It was just nonsense. Seemingly random photos taken in our room, headlined with unrelated phrases.
I only have eyes for you. Enjoying the view? There is nothing but the scent of you.
Some posts were just blurry selfies, her distorted face in strange angles, devoid of any discernible features.
Season greetings.
She tagged several other people from school in other posts too, each one darker than the other.
I can't move without you.
Her gaze was empty and blank, like she was in a trance or on something really potent.
I can't hold my tongue.
A hazy photo of our shitty couch. A black and white photo of our shower drain. A picture of a Christmas present on our kitchen counter, wrapped in black and red, adorned with a sparkly silver ribbon. Wait. Hold on. I stared at the photo. It was the same fucking present. Identical. But how could that be? I had it. I brought it with me. Forgot it in the car. It was in the car. I was sure of it. A message suddenly popped up on my screen.
Did you like my present?
I swallowed deeply. Felt my heart pumping. But why? What's up with you? Why are you tagging me in all these photos? I wrote. Those 3 dots kept bouncing up and down for what felt like an eternity. Disappeared, then appeared again.
Because you were there.
What the fuck do you mean I was there? Dots dancing. Dots bouncing. Dots trembling. A photo suddenly appeared, and I almost dropped my phone as I took it all in. I don't know why, but it felt so intrusive, like some fucking violation. It was a photo of me, sleeping in my bed, sheets unnaturally drawn aside, my half-naked body exposed. What the fuck? Was all I could write. Why would you do that? I was seething with anger and shock. Lizzie was always weird, but I never once took her for some sick, perverted voyeur.
Enjoy your present. Chances and odds are that you find it endearing.
I tried messaging her back over and over, but she didn't respond. I went over the other posts, and people were freaking the fuck out in the comments. What the fuck was going on with her? Cabin fever? After, 3 hours alone? It didn't add up. Maybe she'd taken something? Some hallucinogen? Maybe she was suicidal? I couldn't think straight. All I could think about was that present. I grabbed my dad's keys and bolted out to the car, popped the trunk, and lifted it out with trembling hands. It felt heavier somehow, even more compact than before. I don't know how long I stood there, freezing, looking at it from all angles, weighing it idly in my hands. But at some point, I just decided to place it gently on the ground. I think I knew, subconsciously, that I couldn't bring that thing with me inside. that I needed to open it right there and then. So, I did. I can still imagine it vividly. The protruding veins, the torn flesh, that hideous, darkened red color, the sticky, tepid liquid. Later, I learned that there were other presents, dozens of them. Some were left at the dorm. Others opened in the flickering, warm light of a fireplace, more than likely accompanied by horrifying screams. Every one of them unveiling a unique piece to a macabre jigsaw puzzle. Lizzie's body. They found her phone neatly placed on our living room table, next to a pool of blood, and the one last missing piece, her severed head. According to dorm security, her eyes were open, mouth agape in a twisted grin, tongue sticking out, posed by someone for the camera. I was gifted the symbolic organ of love.
To Kendra, Heart Elizabeth.